Welcome to another edition of High School Spotlight. I'm Jacob Aranda, here with my co-host Cristian Pacheco.
We bring you highlights from two championship games this past weekend, one in the 6-man bracket and the other in the 2A. Floyd gets the game rolling, but in a negative way, as they fumble the snap and Antonio Vasquez recovers the ball for Hondo and it takes it in for the score.
What a way to kick off the 6-man championship game for Hondo Valley Eagles.
Now, Hondo back with the offensive possession. Edwin Prudencio rolls away from the defender, throws to Jesus Guillen for the score. Now, later in the game, Hondo takes the snap, gives the flea flicker, and the pass is converted for a score as Jesus Guillen again takes the touchdown reception for Hondo.
That play gave senior wide receiver Guillen his second score of the game. Hondo 18, Floyd 0 at the end of the first quarter.
Finally, the Floyd Broncos show some effort. They pressure the quarterback, and Jesus Torres is there first for the sack.
Torres also had help from senior defensive end Hugo Perez to get the sack on Antonio Vasquez.
Next possession for Hondo after the sack, which really meant nothing to them, Jacob, as Vasquez takes the handoff in for a 15-yard score, 26-0 Hondo still in the second quarter. Next highlight, and it's Juan Chacon running the rock in for Hondo, increasing their lead and hopes for a championship. Floyd now in Hondo territory. Edgardo Chavez takes the ball, is patient with his blockers, and finds an opening for the 15-yard gain.
Chavez was shaken up after the play, but was able to get his team closer to score, Christian.
Then, Torres, the senior running back, runs in for the Broncos score, their first of the game. Floyd at it again, and Torres is at it again, taking the pitch back about 30 yards for the score.
Torres had a couple touchdowns and a sack on his final game as a Floyd Bronco.
The Hondo Valley Eagles take the 6-man championship for the second straight year by a score of 40-22. The Eagles finish the season at 6-3, 2 wins in the playoffs, and take the trophy back home as the second seed.
Now moving on to the 2A state championship game that was held in Tierra Amarilla, New Mexico, as the undefeated Escalante Lobos face off Fort Sumner House.
The Lobos are trying to finish off an undefeated season and get their second title in a row, while Fort Sumner House was looking for the upset.
We have a fumble kicking off our highlights as Jude Segura pitches the ball to Kyle Idenson. Then he gets rocked by Dominic Montaño. Escalante recovers the football. Fort Sumner House gets the ball back and Jude Segura throws a beautiful pass to Brant West on the 35-yard pickup. The next play, Kyle rumbles in his way for a 10-yard touchdown for the Foxes with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Kyle was a tough guy to bring down on Saturday, as he showed you right there, as Fort Sumner House took the lead 7-0.
The next series for Fort Sumner House, they try some trickery as they go for the flea flicker, and it is complete as Brant West catches the 50-yard bomb. The Foxes take the early 14-0 lead with 8 minutes left in the first half. Dominic Montaño wasn't going to let Fort Sumner House get away with that easy, as he rushes for the big 34-yard gain and sets himself up for the 1-yard touchdown the very next play.
Dominic rushed 43 times on the day and also racked in 2 touchdowns with an incredible 223 rushing yards on the day.
Escalante had some trickery as they complete the successful poke hat pitch to Joe Hurd for the 2-point conversion, which brought the score 8-14 Fort Sumner House with 6 minutes to play in the first half. Now moving on to the second half, Waylon Hines gets the big sack to bring the momentum to the Lobo side.
Escalante made some big adjustments at half, which allowed them to pressure Jude Segura much more.
Escalante's turn now as Montaño throws the 6-yard back shoulder fade to Joe Hurd to bring the score 14-14 in the third quarter.
Joe Hurd had 2 big receptions, and they were both for touchdowns on the night, Jacob.
The Lobos' next series, Dominic Montaño rushes for 10 yards, then he dives in the end zone to give Escalante the 14-22 lead with 4:18 left in the ballgame. Fort Sumner House had one more chance. It was 4th down, and Jude Segura launches the ball 24 yards to Brant West, and good! The Foxes keep their drive alive. Jude Segura now sets up to throw again, and another pass good. Justin Downey catches the big 43-yard pass to put the Foxes in scoring position.
Jude Segura had one heck of a game as he scored the next touchdown for the Foxes to bring the score to 20-22, Lobos still on top.
With the score at 20-22, the Lobos try to widen their lead, and they do as Montaño throws the ball up to Joe Hurd, and Joe Hurd went up to make the play as he scores the 22-yard touchdown to bring the score 28-20 with 38 seconds left in the game. Fort Sumner House had one more chance, but Escalante defense prevails and gets the sack to end the game. The Escalante Lobos are your back-to-back 2A state champs as they defeat Fort Sumner House 28-0. Escalante finished the season undefeated. Thanks for tuning in to another High School Spotlight.
But first, be sure to catch us again tonight at 9 on SportsLook with Doc Elder as he brings you a special edition of High School Spotlight and sits down with Coach Brock as he talks about some women's basketball.
I'm Jacob Aranda.
And I'm Cristian Pacheco. See you tonight.